So as soon as I get on the Rainbow Road, basically I'm propelled through the universe and I'm going to land on the Rainbow Road, and it basically opens up like one of those little kids' parachutes, those big kind of rainbow parachutes where all the kids grab one of the handles on the end and start waving it up and down, and they let the balls bounce on it, and there's a hole in the middle. And so as I'm flying down to the Rainbow Road, that's what the rainbow basically turns into, is this big parachute, and there's a huge hole in the middle. And so I'm terrified that I'm going to fall through this hole. And so I bounce down on the parachute and get flung up in the air, and then bounce down again and get flung up in the air. But every time I come towards that hole, I get terrified that I'm going to fall in this hole. And so finally, this third time I go and I fall through the hole and then just get bounced right back up. So I realized that it wasn't even that scary, that I was going to be safe. But for whatever reason, this hole, I just was terrified that I was going to fall through it. And so after that happens, then I see the portal, the kind of doorway to go to the next area, and as I look at the doorway, I'm standing on the Rainbow Road, and the Rainbow Road actually rises above me and becomes this big, almost elongated hallway, but I'm standing within it. So all the colors and the frequency of the rainbow is like moving through me, but it's this like long hallway passage. And so I walk really slowly and just like engaging in this energy, and it was really beautiful, and I almost got like a healing vibe from it. And so as I move through the doorway, I turn into a bee, like a buzzing bee, and this bee goes speeding off towards its big what's that called? It's not called a honeycomb, a beehive. And so it goes into this beehive, and I get this impression that you're this bee, right? So flying into the beehive, I see you inside, and you're, spitting on your hands and taking the pollen and like shoving it onto the walls, almost like you're mortaring the walls of this beehive. And I keep trying to leave this visual because that's all you were doing, and I'm like, what's going on? I don't get what this means. And I keep hearing the house that blank built, and blank is your name. So they kept saying the house that blank built, the house that blank built, the house that blank built. And I'm watching you, and they make me sit there and watch you as you keep spitting on your hands and like gluing the sides of this beehive. And I watch you go all the way up from the base all the way up to the roof, and you basically completely cover this beehive. And so I'm still not sure what this means, but I almost get the feeling that it's something pertaining to like your home, and basically it's something about, it's not like the pride in your home, but like, and I kept getting like worker bee. So I don't know if you are the person that is like keeping everything together in your home, and you're just like this buzzing bee of energy that's just trying to keep everything together and right and in its place and secure and safe. And I don't know. I don't know if that's your personality or not, but that's kind of like the feeling that I was getting. And then from there, the bee kind of comes out of the beehive and then it turns into a person, and the energy's walking, and then I start to see fireworks. So your energy turns into these fireworks, and I start seeing just blasts of this beautiful firework. And then I start to see that this display is being shown over a big audience that's watching all these fireworks go off. And I hear the oohs and the ahs, and then the subtle clapping, as if I'm in this like big crowd of people watching this 4th of July presentation. And I get that it's connected to the house. So I don't know if like you're an entertainer, or maybe I feel like this is somehow connected back to like the beehive, and all these people are like ooh and ah, like maybe very proud of you, or maybe you get the support or the appreciation for keeping everything together. I'm not sure. It was really two very confusing symbols for me. And so then I see this one firework in the back of the audience. Nobody's looking that direction, and this light of fireworks starts like spiraling up towards the sky. And I see you engaged in this energy, and it's like you climb up the sparkles of this firework all the way up to the sky, and then you're up there just kind of enjoying, and then you like ride it down like it's super playful, super fun, but you're doing all of this behind the audience who's still watching this whole display. like oohing and awing. And so I honestly don't know what to make of this. I'm like, maybe you just do all of this out of joy. I just have no clue. So there's just this appreciation. It's almost like this joy, or this, you maybe that you love, that you can, that you've, the house that blank built, that you just, and you're getting all this appreciation, and you just love doing it. I don't know. There was a lot of happiness and like joy, and the firework display, it was just like fun and a beautiful setting and entertaining. And so I don't know, I feel this, I would assume, relates to you and your personality or something in some way. But then I see this big stairway kind of come out of nowhere, and the energy starts to move up the stairway, and I know now we're going into your Akashic records. And so get to the doorway, and as we enter the doorway, it's basically this hallway of like stark white, like metalled hallway walls, and it's almost like spaceship feeling, and walking, and you hear that clinking, as you're walking over metal grates, and the lights are kind of like fluorescent lights flickering on and off, and it's this long hallway. And so moving down this long hallway, and finally get to the end, and as I walk through the end, basically it's this huge, enormous, almost I would consider it like a snow globe, but it's like this viewing deck out into the universe, but it's in a big circle, and basically no gravity. So as soon as I walk out, I'm like in the middle, and I feel really disoriented, but I'm looking out in this like perfect circular glassed in case, like a viewing deck, and I see all these stars. And so then I don't know if I'm up or down, and so I get really disoriented, and I'm almost like woozy, and it feels like an eyeball, and so I'm like, I feel like I'm in this eyeball, and I'm getting really woozy with all the energy, and as soon as I get that information, then your higher self comes in, and everything stabilizes. And so I engage with your higher self, and I say, what's most important for this person to know at this moment in time? And your higher self basically tells me that what you see is what you believe. And it's so interesting, because this is exactly what my husband records say, and I've never really had the same message in 2 records. And so it was really interesting to me, because his was also like a spaceship feeling thing with a viewing deck, much different than yours, but the same kind of feeling. And so they told me, for him, what he sees is what he believes, and same thing for you, what you see is what you believe. But for you, they told me that and this is why I was so woozy and unstable, is that your perception is changing. You're going through a shift, or maybe you already have been through this shift, and you're starting to recognize and see more clearly, is what I get. So your perception of the world maybe is changing, or it already has, and so you're starting to see more clearly that which surrounds you. And so I'm asking, well, what's for her highest good to know? And they say that basically that you are in the right place, and that you need to just be very present with everything that's going on around you, because the more you are able to see and perceive the subtleties in the field around you, the quicker kind of you're going to propel yourself into this next level of experience. And so it's very much so about being aware for you right now, and being open to seeing maybe in a different way, and to really allow yourself to start experiencing sight in just a very different way. And I feel like synchronicities are going to be happening a lot around you, and just to start learning the language of like this sight, this clarity in sight, and clarity in the world, and how it's presenting itself around you. I feel like you're going to really connect into this subtle flow of energy that's moving around you, and you're going to be able to see things in a very different light. And so that's what I'm connected to then throughout all the processes. When I was being bounced on the parachute, it's almost like an eye again, with the hole in the middle, and I was almost scared to go through because of maybe what I would know or see or learn. But as soon as I did, it was just the normal, it was normal. I got put right back where I started from. Same thing at the very end when we go into your records. very disorienting. It looked like an eyeball, but everything it seems like is aligning for you right now to be able to see your field more clearly. And I got the impression that this is going to help to take you to the next level of your own journey. So with light and love.